All right, so we have, I'm going to do a demo over here of the Donner Beltway Looper pedal. And you've got half speed selection switch over here, and then you've got a reverse, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and keep it there in the middle. And we're going to talk about how to set up your board here in just a little bit, as long as my dogs don't bark and ruin my video again, like anyway. That's the life of having puppies. Make sure your guitar is in tune. All right, so I'm going to do a quick loop here. Hopefully this will work out. So I've got my loop going. Now I can play on top of that. I was in E. So you notice you can barely hear me, right? Because the loop is kind of too loud. I can bring down the loop volume there. But if I want to hear what I'm playing, like over the top of this, I really have to bring in a gain pedal. But you'll notice that it was really hard to hear the loop once I turned on my gain pedal. And so something I really realized is that you want to have, if you're going to be adding kind of a gain pedals on top of the loop, that you want to have a gain that's a little bit louder in volume, or a little more, a little more gain to it, so that you can hear the loop. So let me clear the loop, and to clear the loop, it's pretty easy. You just hold the button down. Okay. Now I'm going to turn on my gain pedal. All right, here we go. Now, I play on top of that, a little bit more. If I play on top of that with the same gain, still kind of hard to hear. But if I add the rat, so you heard that. Now, one of the things that I discovered that was kind of, there's a couple things tricky, is that with the Donner pedal, the looper, there is no count in, there is no, it doesn't give you that 1, 2, 3, 4 play. There's really no grace. So it takes a little bit of time to be able to practice the and stop, and for the loop to actually sound like a good loop. It took me a while because I'd get a pause. Here, let me see if I can get an example of that. I'm going to go ahead and clear the loop, and I'm going to try to play a bad loop. And that's what you don't want. You don't want that gap to be there, because it kind of ruins the whole fun of the loop. So let me get rid of that. So it took me a little bit of time to be able to figure out how to play a good loop. And it's almost like you have to go back to that original chord. It's almost like you've got to, on that progression I was just playing. It's almost like you have to go back to that last chord, the beginning chord for that loop, but you turn it off right as you're going to that chord. So, it's a little tricky. I've watched people use loopers and they they make it look pretty easy, pretty seamless. So anyway, it took me a little bit of time. Now here, let me show you. I normally run delay and a little bit of reverb. But this time I'm gonna run my octave pedal. And it's gonna sound horrible, apologies. But I just want you to be able to hear how the way you line up your pedals is going to affect the way the looper functions, okay? So I've got the octave pedal in there. It's gonna sound bad, but that's on purpose for now. You'll hear that. Now if I turn off the octave pedal, you don't hear the octave anymore. And my loop's not the greatest there. Apologies. But you don't hear the octave because I've turned the pedal off. If I turn the pedal back on, there you go, you hear it again. Now I can turn off the reverb and the compression, and those are gone. Okay? Let me do another example here. I've got the compression and the reverb on. I'm going to throw in some gain. And now I'm going to turn off my Joyo gain pedal. And you notice it's still there. No matter what I hit on this side, it's not going to change that sound. But if I turn on the octave pedal, let's see what happens here. Oh, so I've got octave. Turn off reverb and compression. I'm going to turn on tremolo. So what I found out is that it's really important where you have your looper in your pedals. You may want every single pedal on your pedal board to be recorded into the loop. So you're gonna, in my case, I would have to put it where my compression is here. Hopefully you can see that on the video. I would have to move all these pedals down one and put my looper here if I want all these pedals to be permanently recorded. But if you want to be able to, record a clean loop and then affect it afterwards, you might want to take your looper and move it all the way over here to be your last pedal. That way you could change the whatever effect you have as you're going. Now, besides there's not a count in, and besides like the layout of where your pedals are, the looper in itself, I mean, it does its job. Let's hear it in halftime. add some the other thing is let's see here, okay, let's go to reverse. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna add a little bit of flanger. Now I didn't loop any of that. I just was playing. And that's what I do mostly, is I use it to play anything that I've learned. So just a quick demo of adding another loop on top of what you played. So let's get the loop going. I just press it once for the loop. Oh, let's go back to regular. Say I want just like a harmony lead. All right. Add something else to that. Probably not the greatest demo song recording of a loop, but you get the point. To do a loop, this is going to be black, and then you just press the button and you start recording. Turn it off. To turn off the recording, you hit the button once. To turn off the recording, you hit the button once. To turn off the loop, you hit the button twice. To clear the loop entirely, just press the button down, and that will clear off the loop completely. So anyway, as far as the pedal itself, it does what it's supposed to do. It does a loop. I think what I read is that the thing does about 10 minutes worth of loop time. I definitely recommend keeping the directions. I always try to keep the boxes and the directions, especially for something like this, or maybe a more complicated delay pedal. But it is super fun. I mean, just recording, a little lick or a little chord structure type thing, and then just playing some solos over the top of it. It definitely helps with your playing. It definitely helps with trying to create new things for songs. And I think that the reverse deal with when I did the phaser deal actually sounded better than the other loop I created. But anyway, so the guitar I'm using right now is like a Strat style guitar. I'm using a Marshall Origin 20 through a Harley Benton cabinet, and there you go. It works. It does what it's supposed to. I had a Nux MG 300, I think it was, and the looper seemed, I think, a little easier. Maybe it had a click in or something, and it wasn't as unforgiving. I would say that. But this pedal, it's very unforgiving. You've got to click that in and out right on time. And people who are more familiar with looper pedals, probably that won't be an issue. And if you're new to playing, You might be a little bit of a learning curve. You know, you're having to use your foot, you're having to play the guitar at the same time. So, you know, it does take a little bit of learning. And even if you've been playing guitar for as long as I have, still getting something that sounds good in your loop, you know, can be an issue. Now, there is a way that the directions told me there's a way that I can erase, like say I lay a loop down and I lay another loop on top of that loop, but I don't like it. There's apparently a way to erase just the one on top and not the one on the bottom. But I'm going to tell you to go ahead and look at the directions for that. So anyway, I hope this video was fun, and I hope you learned something. And if you're interested in this Donner pedal, I actually went through Donner Deals. I guess that's their own website, donnerdeals.com. And I think if you sign up for their like their mailing list, you get a coupon or whatever. But I got a notice that they were having a 30% off sale, and I got this for like $34. And so, you know, you can't beat that for a fun little pedal. So there you go. I hope you're having a great day, and hope you learned something new, and take care, and God bless.